Welcome, it is Mitch. I'm on YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as we try to build this thing up. Leo, come over here. Get in the frame, buddy. There you go. Or that side. Lincoln, get in here. Got my nephews with me for this one. Oh my gosh. The windburn's crazy, isn't it, boys?
Yeah.
Windburn galore. We just got back from the draft, round one. Almost in the books. Not quite yet at the time of recording this. Of course, when you watch it, round one will probably be in the books. Wanted to hop on for a few minutes, talk about what the Packers did, and as you can see, my one nephew is in a Caleb Williams jersey. He's a Bears fan, so we'll talk about what the Bears did too. But let's start with the Packers. I thought Mark Murphy did a excellent job of teeing it up for all the fans that were at the draft. A little long-winded, but he deserved to be long-winded with what he was talking about with the Packers tradition, the history of the draft being in Green Bay. And then he goes on to, he didn't bury the lead. He said, for the first time since 2002, and right when he said that, you knew Green Bay was taking a wide receiver, and you kind of had an idea it was going to be Matthew Golden of Texas, with Emeka Ibuka of Ohio State already off the board, Tetairoa McMillan long off the board, going to Carolina, I believe, at number 8. It had to be Matthew Golden. He was the only other wide receiver that got almost like a unanimous clear first round grade. Maybe you sneak in Luther Burden of Missouri, but it was Matthew Golden. And Mark Murphy, it just, for a lot of Packer fans, probably gave you some goosebumps seeing them finally take a receiver. For those who don't know, I did a couple of videos in the lead up to the draft where Matthew Golden was talked about. 5'11", pretty much Jayden Reed's size. So when you think of his frame, think of Jayden Reed. He's an absolute burner. I guess maybe Christian Watson can be talked about, but he ran a 4.2940 at the NFL Combine. And out of 39 receivers who ran the 40-yard dash at the Combine, Matthew Golden was the fastest. He also tied for first in the 10-yard split. So you're talking about a guy with absolute blazing speed, good hands. He had a knack for playing well in a lot of big games. If you look at the quarterfinal for Texas against Arizona State, he had 7 receptions for 149 yards and a touchdown. SEC championship against Georgia, 8 receptions, 162 yards. You kind of look up and down at some of the big games for Texas this past year, and Matthew Golden was always the star of the show, or oftentimes was a star or a co-star. And you look at that roster that they had in the SEC, and heading into the year, I think a lot of people thought Isaiah Bond would be the clear-cut number 1 receiver for Texas. He will be drafted at some point, maybe round 3, maybe a day 3, round 4 guy. But Matthew Golden elevated to levels that maybe Texas didn't even see after he spent his first couple of years in college at Houston. And everyone wants to know, did the Packers just get a bona fide alpha number 1 wide receiver? I would say as a rookie, you might be asking a little bit too much. I wouldn't expect the Packers to throw everything his way right out of the gates when you have a depth chart that there is plenty of depth. You know, the Packers have good quantity numbers at wide receiver. You're talking Jayden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Bo Melton, Romeo Doubs. We know Watson's going to miss a large part of the season. But can Matthew Golden at some point become a bona fide alpha number 1 wide receiver? I think he can, and I think he has such a high floor. I would be shocked if 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, we aren't talking about a wide receiver that is at least a number 2, a true number 2 for the Green Bay Packers. Number 1, we'll have to wait and see, but certainly has the tools to do so. If you want to talk about downside, because every prospect has positives, they have negatives, things they have to work on, I would say he has a knack for shutting down his routes early if he's not the go-to look. And I think coming to a place like Green Bay, they'll be able to instill in his mind, like, you can't do that. He doesn't take plays off per se, but if he's not the first read, the second read on a play, he'll often shut down a little bit earlier than he should. And I think that's one glaring thing that kind of stood out on tape at times. But overall, I love it. Goody took a swing, and I'm not going to tell you he played up to the crowd and that factored in at all, that it was in Green Bay, but for them to take a wide receiver in the first round for the first time since 2002 when they selected Javon Walker, it had the crowd roaring outside of Lambeau Field. Nephews, come on in. Lincoln, what'd you think of the – Lincoln, when we were talking wide receivers, and what did I tell you about Tetairoa McMillan? I said by the time Green Bay's up, he's probably long gone. And that happened. Then I told you Emeka Ibuka, Matthew Golden are your next 2 choices. I thought at least one would probably be available. Matthew Golden was. Where are you at? You're over here. Tell me what you thought about the Matthew Golden selection. And then when he came up on stage and started talking to Packer fans, and would you say I think when he walked out, you said he had aura, right?
Yeah.
He had a lot of aura. Talking to the mic, though, what'd you think of the pick? How excited are you that the Packers took a wide receiver in the first round for the first time since 2002?
Pretty excited. He has a lot of potential to be good on the Green Bay Packers.
No.
He's going to look good in green.
4.2940, fast as hell.
Yeah.
As
He got
heck.
blazing speed, boys.
Blazing speed. And I think you were saying to Leo, hopefully Chicago's got a corner to try to keep him in
Yeah.
check, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Leo, come on up here. Leo, come on up here. Bears picked before the Packers did at number 10. A lot of people thought they might trade up, might trade back. They stood pat. And tell everyone who you wanted them to take at first, but he was already gone.
Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah, he wanted Ashton Jeanty. Don't blame him. Running back out of Boise State. So who was the second option you wanted? It kind of surprised me that you knew the name. It was an offensive lineman. I see you looking around, but Will Campbell. You said Will Campbell, and he was taken before the Bears chose at 10-2. But you got a tight end. Leo was up on my shoulders for the pick so he could see the stage. So he had the best view out of our little group, our little 5-person posse that was there for the draft. Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. I think a lot of people thought that Warren from Penn State might be the first tight end taken. He ended up going to the Colts 4 picks later. Loveland was the first tight end taken. And I'll tell you this, Leo. Loveland had a shoulder injury last year, and he had surgery in January. And if not for that, he might have been I don't want to say runaway, but he might have been the clear-cut number 1 tight end to be taken first. So I don't think the Bears reached. You got a good tight end. Talk about your weapons in Chicago. Who do you guys got now? Who do you guys have on offense that Caleb Williams gets to throw to?
Keenan Allen.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who are the for sure's?
DJ Moore,
Yeah.
Romo Dunze, Cole Kmet.
And since they didn't get Genty, who did you say you hope they take in the second round at that position?
Oh, Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson from I'm wearing the Iowa jacket. That would break, as a Packer fan, that would break my heart. But I would be happy for you because you're an Iowa fan. So if the Bears draft a running back, and I think many people think they probably will draft a running back at some point in this draft, if they get Caleb Johnson, it'll be bittersweet for me. I will be a little sad to see Caleb Johnson in a Bears uniform, but I'll be happy for you because you'll get a player on your favorite NFL team from your favorite college team, right? Mm-hmm. Loveland, did you love the pick or just kind of like the pick and wait and see? What does this mean for Colt Kmet? Talk to the people.
I think
Can they share the wealth for a little while?
it will be like split, I think, because I think Cole Kmet will get more receptions than last year because we got a new coach and they'll use the tight end more. They'll get like more receptions and
Loveland will get some of those.
yeah.
I agree. Bears have a really, really good offense. Lincoln, how do you think Golden stacks up with the other Packer wide receivers? That's a good group they have now. Everyone wanted to get a number 1 wide receiver. A lot of people wanted to go sign Devontae Adams this offseason, have a reunion. That didn't happen. Didn't make a trade for DK Metcalf. Got McCole Hardman, maybe more of a returner to start with. Then he'll get some snaps at wide receiver. Golden, though, how dangerous can this group be? Remember, Watson's out for a while, but you're talking about a group that now has Golden, Wicks, Reed, and Dobbs to start the year. How are you feeling about that?
Like I said, they have a lot of potential. They can be good. They have a very powerful offensive line. Jordan Love's going to have a lot of time.
Let's clarify one thing, too. A lot of people are going to see your jersey, and they're going to think it's Zadarius Smith. And Zadarius Smith had a sour ending with Green Bay a few years ago, and he kind of ripped the Packers on his way out. Go ahead and turn around. Just clarify. Folks, that is a Kingsley Enagbari jersey. South Carolina edge rusher. We love Kingsley Enagbari. These two have met Kingsley Enagbari. Yeah. You can turn around, too. You just got that bad boy today. Caleb Williams. Believe it or not, folks, Leo has 2 jerseys on. Can you just pull it up without showing your belly? Yeah, look at that, folks. Look at this kid. I know he's a Bear fan. Guys and girls, I know he's a Bears fan, but you can't. He's got such a lovable face. The Devin Hester jersey. Who bought you that jersey? Oh, I love you guys. All right. One more thing you got to say, because a lot of people that are going to be watching this on YouTube weren't able to attend the draft. They don't live in Green Bay. They don't live close to income. What were your thoughts? Because we got there when it opened at noon, and we stayed damn near through the entire night. What were your thoughts day one of the draft and like the scene, like everything you did? Like, how cool was it for people that couldn't attend?
Very fun, exciting. I recommend that you go. It's really fun.
Leo?
Like crazy. Everyone is screaming.
Yeah. Last thing. Leo, you get the mic first. Lincoln, you can't interrupt him, okay? Packers-Bears play twice against each other next year. You guys just added a tight end. Your offense should be good. Ben Johnson, everyone thinks it's a home run hire. What's the record? 2 games against the Packers next year. Go ahead, Leo. What's the record going to be against the Packers for the Bears?
A 1-1.
Oh, he gives the Packers a win. 1-1. Lincoln?
2-0 if we get Cam Scatterboo in the second round.
I don't think they're going to. We'll see. That'd be a nice little 1A with, not 1A. It'd be a nice backup, I guess, behind Josh Jacobs. But we have Marshawn Lloyd. We'll see what Marshawn and Emmanuel Wilson. We like all of them. You love Scatterbo. I don't blame you. He's a bowling ball. Leo, I think that was nice of you to say 1-1. But Leo, let's say this 1-1, and then we'll finish with this. Packers Bears play in the playoffs next year. Who would win?
Bears.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought he was gonna say. All right, Packers get Matthew Golden, speedster from Texas. I love the pick. Goody proved that it's not a organizational philosophy that the Packers just don't take wide receivers in the first round. First time, as Mark Murphy said, since 2002, when they took Javon Walker, they draft Matthew Golden, and the speed, folks. It's real. You know how some guys are really fast, but it might not jump off when you watch them, but it's like, oh, they're pretty fast. No, his speed translates. Like, it jumps off on video when you're watching him. When you're watching Matthew Golden, it's like, oh, he's very clearly very, very fast. How fast is he? 4.2940 at the NFL Combine, 39 wide receivers. He was the fastest. There you go. Packers get a wide receiver for Leo. Bears get a tight end. This is Mitch. I am on YouTube. Please, they got to click subscribe, right? Just click the subscribe button. It's really, really easy. It's really easy, and we'll see you next time.